Good morning, everyone. Today's hearing is to allow comments and feedback from the public for the proposed rules. There's no interaction or Q&A at this time. Thank you. For internet access to view. Sorry.
I'm gonna read this first.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this public hearing is called to order. My name is Randy Ho. I'm the co-executive officer for the Board of Massage Therapy. Also present is Olivia Nagashima, who's the chair, Shannon Skoog, a board member, Sean St. Louis, a board member, Chelsea Fukunaga, an executive officer, Chris Leung, Deputy Attorney General, and Mark Yoshimura, Secretary. The purpose?
Do the video first.
Is that?
Do the video first.
Oh, and we will be playing a short video, and then we will commence the meeting afterwards.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the raise hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on, as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
So for internet access to view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You'll be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You'll also be asked for an email address, and you may fill in this field with an entry in an email format. Your microphone will also be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will then enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Upon request, your Zoom video or similar on-camera option will be enabled to allow you to be visible to the board members and other meeting participants while presenting oral testimony. Please turn off your camera after you complete your testimony. It is the individual testifier's responsibility to ensure they have the video and internet capabilities to successfully stream or remotely testify. The board maintains the authority to remove and block individuals who willfully disrupt or compromise the conduct of the meeting. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you'll be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you'll be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You may not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering an asterisk and the number 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering the asterisk and the number 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing the asterisk and the number 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you're finished speaking, please enter the asterisk and the number 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access when testifying, you'll be asked to identify yourself in the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If your connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time. And this information will be provided on the board's website. Instructions to attend the State of Hawaii virtual board meetings may be found online at the DCCA website. Thank you. Introduce the board. Okay. So today we have board members, Tom St. Louis. Please indicate yay, yes.
I'm here,
Shannon?
yes, thank you.
Thank you. Shannon Skoog
Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
and myself, Olivia Nagashima for the moment. We have our executive officer, Randy Ho. We have our DAG's representative, Christopher Leong. Our secretary, Mark Yoshimura. And Randy, did you want to take over? So you can read the notice of the beginning.
Okay, so. So the purpose of the public hearing is to afford all interested persons, an opportunity to submit data, views, or recommendations orally or in writing to the proposed interim rules for the Board of Massage Therapy. The public notice, is as follows. Pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statutes, Section 452-6 and Chapter 91, notice is hereby given that the Board of Massage Therapy will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the Queen Liliuokalani Conference Room, first floor, King Kalakaua Building, Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, at 335 Merchant Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813, and virtually via Zoom to hear all persons interested in the proposed amendments to Hawaii Administrative Rules, Chapter 16-84, pertaining to massage therapy. Please visit our Board of Massage Therapy meeting schedule website, where you will find the necessary information to access the public hearing virtually. The purpose of the proposed amendments is to require massage therapists to complete 12 hours of continuing education upon renewal of their license, establish standards of sanitary practices for massage therapy establishments, establish requirements and standards that continuing education courses shall meet to obtain recognition and approval from the board, expand the definition of person to include a limited liability company and business entity, clarify that adult and infant cardiopulmonary resuscitation courses cannot be completed online, and align cardiopulmonary resuscitation training requirements for massage students with massage apprentices. All interested persons shall be afforded the opportunity to submit data, views, or arguments orally or in writing at the time of the hearing. I will now briefly describe the procedure to be followed at this public hearing. If you are attending in person, have not signed up to present oral testimony at this hearing, please do so at this time. Testimony will be received in the order in which you appear on the sign-up sheet if attending in person, and for those attending virtually in the order starting at the top of the list. If you have written testimony to submit, but do not wish to present any oral testimony, please submit your written testimony to the executive officers, myself, Randy Ho, or Ina Choi. And before, and this needs to be done before leaving the public hearing today. When your name is called to present oral testimony, please take the seat located at the end of the table if there's anyone present. There is not. The purpose of this public hearing is to hear your views and comments regarding the proposed interim rules related to the Board of Massage Therapy. And we will not be discussing your testimony during the public hearing or answering any questions which might be raised by your testimony at this time. We ask that you please, in order to afford others the same opportunity, to abide by the time limit during your testimony and be respectful of other testifiers. Please be advised that these are interim rules, and once adopted and approved by the director, they will be in effect for up to a year. Oh, sorry. The rules amendments.
Will be in effect.
Will be in effect for up to a year.
No,
Oh, sorry.
it's not interim, so it's just gonna be in effect after the director.
Oh, okay. So the amended rules will be in effect after adoption.
Yeah.
After this public hearing, the testimony received will be considered, and the board intends to make a decision in a week or two, or at the present meeting.
We have a meeting after this.
Okay, at the following meeting, immediately subsequent to this public hearing. And there's no one in person on the sign-up sheet, so we will be going to online testifiers.
At
Thank
this
you. We have a raised hand from Matthew.
Okay.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Olivia. Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, so just want to make a comment. Everything sounds good.
So, if any.
Oh, please, sorry, please identify yourself and whether or not you're representing an organization.
My name is Matthew Mathis. I'm the owner of Oahu Sports Massage here on Oahu, and I am the governance chair for AMTA Hawaii. But my biggest question in regards to all this is the standard of the national going up to 600. I just wanted a comment from the board on that. And then again, everything sounds good with continuing education as far as we're concerned with doing the CPR in person and having continuing education throughout every year to provide and continue licensing. As far as the establishment goes, again, AMTA agrees with the board on making sure that establishments are held accountable for sanitation and practices, especially after COVID. But just for comment, so we have some, AMTA is backing the state in its decisions.
Thank you, Matthew. Do we have any other testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Read the written one. There was a written one that was submitted. We did receive written testimony.
So we received written testimony from Mr. Rick Rosen. It appears that he's online. Would he like to speak to his testimony?
You need to raise your hand if you wish to provide testimony.
I think yours is. It's a bit written, right?
Do we have Rick Rosen that's raising his hand?
Yes, board members, I'm trying to unmute my video, but it appears muted from your end.
We can hear you now.
We're good.
He's trying to turn on his video.
Okay, you can't see me, but can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I'm trying to unmute my video and I'm not able to. So I'll just proceed with audio only. Good morning, Olivia, members of the board and board staff. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Rick Rosen. I'm a massage therapist here on the Big Island. I've had a massage license for 45 years now, starting in Florida and then North Carolina. I've been licensed in Hawaii since I think 2015. I sent in written comments and I sent a revised version early this morning before the meeting. It was pointed out to me I had misnumbered a couple of the rule sections. I apologize for that, and the revised comments that I sent just a little bit before your meeting time is the version to work from. The content is the same, I just had switched up some rule numbers. The first rule I wanted to comment on is not in your current proposed changes, but it does have an issue that bears examination by the board. It's the advertising section 1684-43, where subsection B states that a licensee may advertise as being able to perform the type of massage known as Rolfing if the licensee has received basic Rolfing training from the Rolf Institute and has been certified as a Rolfer and given membership in the Institute. As the board members know, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of named modalities in our profession today, and it is not in the purview of a state massage therapy board to regulate the use of proprietary trade names. That's a private business matter. It's not enforceable by the board, and in terms of this one particular trade name, there are only currently 12 certified Rolfers in the state. So I recommend that the board remove subsection B of this rule because subsection A is broadly encompassing and it really it renders this particular mention of a specific modality unnecessary. The second comment regards 1684-48 requirements for massage students, and in the part of this rule that stipulates the school approval process, it is factually incorrect. In this rule section, it states that the American Massage Therapy Association and Rolf Institute are the two school approval bodies, and in fact, neither are school approval bodies. The AMTA years and years ago, more than 30 years ago, had a very small national school approval program, and it was sunsetted 30 years ago. And that's not an activity that AMTA is involved with. And the Rolf Institute is a one modality school based in Boulder, Colorado, and it is not a school approval entity as well. So I included proposed language to substitute this in the rule, which is included in my written comments, and I won't read that. But it's important to remove the outdated language and update this section to give the board the flexibility to evaluate training that comes from both in-state and outside the state. And in the continuing education requirements, my recommendation is for the board to remove the requirement that the biennial CPR and first aid training be hands-on or live in person. It is not essential. These are non-essential skills and unrelated to the practice of massage therapy. Massage therapists are not frontline healthcare providers. They're not emergency responders. The fact that in order to receive a license, one has to have received in-person training should be sufficient. So to renew licensure and have those 2 hours every biennium, it would be more than sufficient for licensees to be able to keep their information current through online courses, especially for those in the neighbor islands where these courses may be difficult or sometimes impossible to obtain locally. For example, 2 years ago, I had to travel to Oahu for the day to take a renewal CPR course to renew my license. That completes my comments, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Roden. Do we have anyone else wishing to provide testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
All right. So the procedures after the hearing will be the board will consider adoption of these rules at the meeting to follow this meeting. The rules, if adopted, will be sent to the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office for approval. Rules will remain at the Lieutenant Governor's office for a period of 10 days after approval by the Governor before becoming final. And if there's no other testimony, that concludes the oral testimony on proposed amendments. And if there's anyone else who wishes to present testimony at this time, if not, then this public hearing is adjourned.